All right, good morning traders, and welcome to the Bookmap All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to go through the live order flow analysis and also some trading. Now this is in demo paper trading mode, just so you know, but we'll talk more about that in just a minute, why we're doing that. Yeah, anyway, let me continue on here, why, and go through the disclosure. All Bookmap materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Good morning, Alois. Risk disclosure. Trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so a few notes before we dive into the order flow live analysis. We have our blue jacket competition just started this last week, or this week. So it's on June 10th. You can sign up at any time. It runs for the month until June 30th. You can use your phone, take a screenshot, use the QR code to sign up, or you can go to bookmap.com/bluejacket. A special note that you're going to get twice the consideration or weighting on content. This is a content competition. Those with the best content win. But the content that shows trades taken from Bookmap. All right, we've been wanting to see more of that because we can give so much better feedback into the Bookmap Academy. Now, it's kind of interesting because when you sign up for the competition of Blue Jacket, you actually sign up and you become a member also in the Bookmap Academy because that's where you're going to post. So you can go here to the More button on bookmap.com and go to the Academy in here and see more about it. This is another, it's not a competition. This is a mentoring and coaching program that we have. So anyway, you'll submit your content into the Bookmap Academy room for consideration. Also, those in the Bookmap Academy room showing your content with trades taken from Bookmap will get twice the weighting for your credit. Okay, we know that summer months, people are doing lots of things, so that's fine. We still want to keep you involved in trading, but you don't have to. You can do half the amount of content. Okay, so anyway, point made. Let's move on. We have our results from the crypto competition. Wow, that was quite a roller coaster ride with the competition here. It was awesome. Really enjoyed it. I was not able to participate much in it, unfortunately. But look at the first place winner here, Nepo, $362,000 in like 2 days, 3 days, right? Stevie with 308 as second place, and then Brandon Anthony Affy 306 for third place. Very close between second and third place there. And then we had also two winners for the day. We had prizes. So Kiltro 250,000 on the first on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we had C Bracken. So really pretty amazing results. And it was wild. I mean, some people were up in first place and then down in last place. It was a fun competition, that's for sure. We'll have another one. I don't know, probably during the summer, or we'll see. We might have it with futures data. Or maybe stocks or something like that. Anyway, great stuff. Let's move on. And then let's jump into the live analysis here. Okay, so looking at the S&P E-mini, you can see some data right in here. This was the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment report, and you can see a little bit of volatility in there. Not much, but nice little sweep to the downside. For those of you who don't know what a book sweep is, this is a great example. You can see all sorts of details in here, and it's actually right before the release of the data. Someone made a decision, and they stopped a bunch of people out too along the way, right before the decision. Kind of a nasty move there, to be quite honest. So maybe someone knew something. Who knows? I totally speculate on that. But anyway, they definitely made a decision, and they sold a tremendous amount, swept the order book down, and look at this. As it's being swept down, stops are being triggered along the way within this sweep here. Okay, so this is important to understand, and we're talking about really getting into the details of market mechanics and what happens. And you might think like, okay, well, we're looking at microseconds here, and this doesn't apply to my trading. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Here's why. Check this out. Like someone hit the sell button. They're triggering stop orders within here. Doesn't matter if this is billionths of second, millions of seconds, does not matter. If your stop is in here, first, they will get filled with their market sell order. Then any orders triggered in here along the way as they're getting filled will get filled afterwards. And you can see these are all stops in here. Okay, so a lot of people getting stopped at 287 stop transactions, and that is fact. Okay, this is something that we can show with our stops and icebergs. You can see icebergs in here as well, starting to purchase, and then someone getting stopped out here, or many people getting stopped out here. Big drop. Really fascinating stuff, and it does matter on your time frame, because you will get caught up in this data or this kind of activity all the time. Okay, it's just a fact. And that's why we go over market mechanics in detail. All right, we can see the spread widen out, until the next transaction takes place after a few seconds here, about 5 seconds. Someone decides to take a transaction here. All right, so they kind of digested the data, and then we see transactions take place. And for those of you who just want to know some of the details in here and what this data means in here, there's a few things that are really important to understand. And this is a distinction between Bookmap and others as well. This is pure data, and we're showing everything. It's not just tick data. Tick data is aggregated within, well, the order book information is aggregated within a specific time of those transactions. This is pure data. You can see updates in the order book here with no transactions. You can see the best bid and offer updating in here with no transactions. So we're really showing the details in here. And like I said, these details matter. When it comes down to it, no matter what time frame you're on, unless you're trading on the monthly chart or yearly chart or something like that, well, you could still get caught up in these things even with any time frame, any transaction. But my point is to understand how these markets work. Once we have that foundation in the market mechanics, then we're going to be able to understand at much better depth really how to take advantage of that with strategies and setups. And that's what we're going to go through in just a second here. So the transaction data comes first, the best bid and offer update next. That's what happens in here. This is not an anomaly. It's not lost data or anything like that. It is just how we receive the data. And then note how the updates in the order book in here take place with no transactions. So that is very, very different than a lot of other platforms out there. All right, so let's continue on here. Okay, see if there's any questions on that. Good morning, Rob, Dan, Caesar, Stan, and Alan. Welcome back, Alan. I missed you last night. I know you had a it was a holiday for you. But anyway, yeah, let's take a look here. Bigger picture. Okay. All right, I got data here back to about 4 a.m. or so, and you see the selling right into high liquidity down here, and oops, sorry. Okay. And then a continuation on down into this high liquidity in here. We got 5,400, the big figure here. We trade into it, and then we're finding buyers since then. Okay, this is the swing low that I have for the session, overnight session, in fact, from about 7 o'clock. All right, so and then we see this move here to the upside. Back up into high liquidity up in this area here, and then it's really kind of back and forth in here. All right, so let's dive in here and look for any sort of opportunities after this. All right, so let me actually, you can see the stops and icebergs on chart here, or I'm sorry, just stops. I'm actually going to take it off here so we just don't get distracted by that for right now. Okay, I have that information here in the subchart. The blue line are icebergs. The red line shows the stops. Okay, so a big stop run here to the upside as well. Okay, right before the event. This is brutal. This is just brutal. It kind of breaks my heart to see this kind of stuff. You know, look at the iceberg selling, iceberg buying, and then selling. Stop run here. Back and forth, and then a stop run here that we had just noted with that data release, and then now people are getting stopped to the upside here. This is just wicked stuff. But anyway, so you know, by understanding that kind of activity in here, also you're going to glean a lot from that and understand that, wow, you know, this activity, there's a lot of stops back and forth in here. I mean, we see the swings. Let's put it back on the chart. You know, 500, you know, from 0 to 500 in here, negative 500. So it's really quite a bit back and forth. And how can that give us insight? Well, it can kind of set up your trading day of like, okay, well, do you see a reversal pattern in here? I mean, I do. I see like, you know, sellers, a lot of buyers, they break this swing here, back and forth. Buyers come back up in here. And now we see sellers all the way back down to the swing here, and now buyers coming back in. However, the transactions in here are a lot of people getting stopped out on both sides. So that kind of sets up a weird environment in here. And is it something you really want to look at for a trade that maybe it fits? There's trades opportunities in here, no question. But does this fit your reversal pattern setup? That's a big question. And you can start to maybe shy away from your pattern and your setup due to the stop activity. Okay, is just like during rollover period today. Today's Friday. Like you know, Fridays there's a lot of weird action, and you know, it can be kind of challenging to trade on Fridays, as a lot of people know. But my point is that the if the players and the participants in the order flow here that we can read, we know what's happening here. They're getting stopped out on both sides in here. Well, then this behavior in here is kind of different than what we usually expect in our setups. It's just like next week is going to be rollover period. In fact, let's bring up the rollover for just a second. You probably saw it in our digest. So I'll just do a quick search here for volume On the CME, it brings up CME volume ES. Quick search. This will bring up a volume and open interest, and we want to know that information. Okay. The bonds and the notes, they have already rolled over, and now we want to see what's happening with the stock indexes. Okay. What's the volume in here? So we're in the tab here, volume and open interest, and let's take a look. Okay, so I mean, you can see the details here. Globex or total volumes here. This is the one to look at. We can see that you know, 1.7 million here for the June contract, 500,000 for the September contract. So it is starting to roll. Look at the open interest over here. Okay, minus 187,000 plus, or for the June contract, plus 174 for the September contract. It is rolling, right? It's not quite there on the September contract. It's up to you what you want to trade. And we're going to see a lot more of this. We're going to see a lot more kind of strange activity on Monday and Tuesday. Usually by Wednesday, it's kind of rolled over, has been my experience. But we'll check it every day next week and take a look. Right? You will see when it rolls over, and you'll actually see the volume shift in the new contract. Okay, so it's pretty cool. But let's add in here for the CME. We're going to add the new contract. Okay, and we're going to just take a quick look at it and compare. Okay, this is important to, you know, it also underscores the importance of understanding the market mechanics, the participants in the order flow. So take a look here. Look at the participants' behavior in here. Okay, very clearly this is not ready to roll over yet. There's a lot of algorithmic activity very close to the best bid and offer, and the transactions in here. Okay, there's high liquidity up here at 54.90. Right, so that's pretty much what we can glean from this here at this point. But you know, this is something that I don't want to trade right now. I'm not interested in trading this contract. Now, that's for day trading. If I'm swing trading, yeah, I don't know either, but depends on how long the swing is for. But maybe I want to you know, just wait until I have more clarity in the order flow here, okay, before trading in this contract. All right, now since I'm off on a tangent in here, let's continue on here. Note this behavior in here, right? The kind of hedging or rolling over into another contract. Let's take a look at SPY, okay, in stocks. This happens all the time in SPY. Okay, so it always looks like this. It's actually kind of funny. Yeah, here's that behavior in here. It's not quite as pronounced as that September contract, but you can see it, right? And then you see all of this liquidity up in here in these areas, and these are larger players. They're you know, actors in the market here. That it's you know, to me it looks like mostly algorithmic activity, layering in specific areas and then pulling at specific areas, etc., back and forth all day long. You know, averaging their positions, you know, where they want to deal, and we can see that behavior in here very clearly in Bookmap, and that's an edge actually to be able to understand that. You know, look at them stay in the order book here at this 541.30 right here. Right, that gives us information. These guys look to be active sellers in here. They're staying in the order book. And that's very different than this other activity in here that pulls as price comes up toward it. Okay, like for example, Doug Pless over in the options room. And he's on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can check the calendar on that. I think it's at 1 p.m. Yeah, I think 1 to 2. But he looks at these important levels in the SPY. He wants to know if they transact or not. He wants to know how it relates also to the futures. So a lot of understanding here. We're talking about some pretty basic things in the market mechanics, but we're really understanding more about really what makes these markets move, and that's the market mechanics part. Okay, and we have to understand that. Else, what are you trading? We mentioned this like several months ago, actually, in a webinar. I think it was called First Principles in Trading. And this is exactly first principles. You're deriving the meaning from the actual first principles of these markets, the premises of or understanding of what makes up these markets at the most binary level. How a transaction takes place, who provides liquidity, what moves that market one tick, and understanding that is essential. In fact, all of our education is based off of that. And I'll show here. If you go to bookmap.com, click on education here, and the market mechanics course here. We go through it in detail. And understanding it here
they get scared.
Is really, really essential. For example, this diagram in here, understanding a skew in the order book could be a spoof. It could be larger players trying to get price to go lower. But whatever it is, that really doesn't matter. But we have to understand how price reacts to these new orders that come into the market that are much heavier on the offer than on the bid. Okay. From that, we reason on up. Okay, so if that is the case, and that's how the market works, and understanding the relationship between liquidity and the transactions in here, then we can reason on up and look at a range in here, a breakaway from here. This breakaway here, in concept, is no different than a breakaway. Oh, we have it on the sell side here. A breakaway here, right? It's no different. It's just more volume and more participants, more liquidity. That's it, right? So it really is important to understand these market mechanics. So I implore you to check this out, or encourage you, and at least watch part 1 of this course. We've got parts 1 through 4. They're about an hour long each. Okay. All right, I've been motoring through without going over much content, so let's do that. Hi Yuri, welcome. Haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, in fact, Uri is a longtime Bookmap user, and he looks at these things all the time. In fact, one of the things that he loves to look at is these large transactions in a trend and the pullback to them. And then he's looking for a low volume pullback to them a lot of the time. Okay, so for example, here's another market mechanic, and this, I'm going to cover it because not only it's what he looks at, we've covered it for many years, but it's important to understand the dynamics here and what's happening. So market drops, pulls back, large buy transaction, market drops. It comes back up to it and trades through it. Okay, back up to where it dropped from up here. Now this is kind of an important area for this time frame, this kind of 54.18. The reason being is that there's sellers below it, and look at the buyers coming in back up above it. Okay, so we're going to see like who's going to kind of win the battle around this 54.18 price level. Here come the sellers. Now watch this. Let's see if they have enough volume in here, enough supply to try to drop it and break this range. Now, if they do, that is a tradable event. Okay, we can look at that and we can see now, are we getting our sellers? Okay, all right, we're not bad. All right, now I'm actually going to set an order here. I'm going to set it here. And if I'm wrong, I get it on the pullback, a small pullback here. Now, oh, I forgot to put brackets in. Okay, if I'm wrong, I want to be wrong quickly, right? I'll set my take profit down here and my stop loss up here. Okay, and I'm looking for this to break. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm going to get out quickly, right? But that's my assumption here. This is the battleground and just what we covered here. And I want to see these buyers in here stopped out on the way down into this 54.14 level. Okay. All right. You can even see like a double top in here. And we want to read the order flow in that. There's all sorts of things to take a look at in here, right? But this was the play. Now, by understanding those market mechanics, we can play off of it. We can look at a strategy. Okay, we need to go and study our strategies. Here, we can even do it again here. Here's another pullback, right? All right, let's put in another bracketed order in here. Okay, I'm just missing. I want to get it on the pullback if I can. Let's see if we can. All right, I'm in. All right, so now I have 2 contracts on. I just scaled into the position. Okay, now I'm going to move my stops down, right? Because if I'm wrong, then I'm assuming that there's going to be activity below this swing here, all right? And I don't want to have it go against me because then I've got it wrong, right? So now I'm going to leave my stop here. It says maybe a point stop here, but behind my break even here. Actually, it's not my true break even, but it's my average price here at 54.17, right? And then now what I'm going to do is I kind of like it. Maybe I'll move it down to this liquidity though, my take profit, right? Or just buy the swing down here and maybe front run. I kind of like it here. Yeah, let's move it though and put it down here. And maybe we can get a continuation move down into 5400 as well. We'll maybe move our take profit. All right. All right. So now I still want to go over this in here because Yuri, just because Yuri popped in, it gave me some ideas. Thank you, Yuri, for popping in here. Okay, we've got our data. We had our release. We see the move to the downside. We're looking at this big transaction here. And then in here, what we're looking for is a tradable event as well. We're looking for low volume buying on the way back up to here. And then we're looking for sellers to curl in right around here and to take it back down. Now, that scenario didn't unfold. Okay, so why didn't it? Well, because this is not low volume. Okay, look at the dots, look at the bars, the size of the size and color of the dots and bars. Okay, look at the size and dots of the color in here. Okay, so that's not the low volume pullback we're looking for. Therefore, it broke here, it broke this area here, and went back up and tested here. Right? So then we saw the back and forth. Then we were looking for, we know that this our level here around this 17 or 18 level is important. And we're looking for it to break and sellers to trap and stop out all those buyers in here. And we're looking for the move lower. All right. Now, my job after starting to break down and understand this in here, my job is to start to write that up into a checklist. And now you have a strategy. You have a strategy to at least go back and to back test, or go through and see how many times you see that event happening. And when you do, mark it up. And that's what we do in the Bookmap Academy, is we go through and we do this process in here, so that you can put these pieces together and look for something simple that you understand, that resonates with you, and make it a tradable event. Okay. All right. I hope I'm making sense for you guys. Does that make sense? Anyone over on what do you guys? Any feedback over on Discord or on YouTube here? Guys on YouTube, you might want to come over to the Discord and partake in the discussion. You might want to join that Bookmap Academy as well. We had a meeting last night and we went through a lot of different content from some really good. I'm really astounded about some of the performance and improvement of some of the traders in there. It's been really stellar. So way to go, Rob. Shark Blue, you blew me away yesterday. I mean, that was just a beautiful image that you showed, and you traded it perfectly. Really nice. Caesar, you've been on fire for a while. Alan, you missed it. You'll have to watch the recording. But you've been on fire. You have now documented your strategy extremely well, just like this one that we went through. Maybe we'll have a follow-up on this. I'll have to come back into this and record down, put this into a strategy that we're looking for, or that I just covered. And then it's something then we can put into our add-on for setup checklist here. Okay, so here we'll find it. Hold on, I know I got it in here. Where is, here it is, right here. All right. And it's a really simple thing that we put together. I can't believe the developers did this like in a few days, and it was awesome. This is actually the kind of checklist for a continuation pattern. It's by default, but you can very easily come in here to click on settings, and you can modify this and then save it, or you can export it and then modify it and save it and then reload it back in here. So in fact, what it does is it opens up here the checklist in your notepad, and you can look for just start to put stuff in here, yeah, okay. Our final take profit was just hit. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, I would have liked to have moved my stop maybe a little bit lower. Try to get this. I mean, we had our reasons for it, but maybe wait or move it down and be more active. Look for the figure, or even just through the figure by maybe 3 or 4 points. Would have been nice. We'll see how that worked out here, but I see a lot of buying starting to come in right now. So far so good that this was pretty good that we left it and got stopped out right in front of that liquidity. But I'm still looking for the move back down into 5,400. Right. So anyway, guys, you get my idea. We can write in here. In fact, let's try to do it quickly, and then we'll put it into our setups checklist. So then, but I'll come back in and modify it more for you guys. All right. So we are looking for pivot area of importance. All right, and then we're going to grade it 1 through 10, and then we're looking for trap buyers, or trapped traders, I should say, for buying and selling in here, and then we're looking for retest to the pivot line, and then we're looking for entry on a pullback, and then we're looking for the take profit, stop above the swing of recent small swing, and take profit at liquidity and swings. All right, that's it. Okay, and let's do a save as here, and we're going to call it a pivot strategy. Okay, save it. Done. Let's load it. Come back up to setups configuration and show the window. We're going to import. We're going to go find it. I believe it's it is, I think it's in configs. That's trading stats. Okay. Oh man, where is it? Add-ons. That's right. It's under add-ons and it's under setups checklist here. That's it. Okay. And okay, so it saved it, but not as a. I need it actually as a CSV. Okay, so I didn't do that. Anyway, I'll load it again, and we'll get there. So sorry about that, guys. But anyway, we can load it, and we've got something in there. All right. Okay. Mean reversion trade or squeeze. No, I mean, you know, one of the things that, I mean, I'm doing this on the fly, Alan, so, you know, maybe I can come up with a little bit better name. We've been looking at these kind of pivot points for a long time. Another one is up here, actually, not necessarily where it dropped from here, but up here. And here's the pivot here, and here's the retest to it. The same thing could have happened right in here. We could have gotten a lot of buyers back up above here, right? And then we'd look for maybe they go above the swings up in here, and then come right back down after stopping a bunch of people out. We get a small little pullback, so we get something like this, and then we're looking for a reattack here, and then follow through to the downside. Okay, it could have done that, it didn't. You know, instead it kind of did it on this swing here. You'll notice it all the time, and you know, all of these traders in here buying, I'm sure, are part of the stop run on the downside here. Okay. All right. And yeah, we got maybe, you know, this is something I mentioned. I think last week or maybe during the academy, I can't recall. You know, we have our setup. We know what we're looking for in here. Okay, all of that's great, but you know, we don't know what's going to happen in here. We're looking at the participants in the order flow and understanding what might happen, and try to take advantage of that by knowing that this happens frequently. We understand the market. We understand what moves the market. We understand the condition of the participants. Once we understand that, we can start to look for a strategy. We can start to then build risk management around that. All right, so yeah, that's it. What was I going to say here about the strategies? I lost my train of thought there for a minute. Luck. I was going to say that much. We know this much, okay? But then there is a bit of luck involved, or bad luck involved, whatever it might be. Maybe there's erratic behavior by some participants, it's important to kind of acknowledge that, because then you acknowledge what the market is. You acknowledge that we're not sure what it's going to do. We're more sure, like a lot more sure, at specific times. Put it this way. Going to the craps table, you've got 2 dice. Okay, you roll the dice, and you don't know what's going to come up. 12 or 2 could come up 100 times in a row. We don't know, right? That's the luck part of it. However, we also know that with a regular pair of dice and we know that a regular environment, nothing that is skewed, like weighted dice or anything like that. We know with that regular environment, we know that 7 is going to come up the most, then 6, and then 8. That is the most likely probability in the combinations. Okay, and that's what we're doing with the setup in here. Okay, we're applying that kind of logic, reasoning on up from first principles and market mechanics to understand higher probability setups, and then we're taking advantage of it and trading it. And in this case here, we even leveraged or scaled into it here on a pullback. All right, so now, and why did we do that? Well, and let me take stops off here just so it looks a little cleaner. All right, and why did we do that? Okay, because it makes sense if this is the move we are looking for. Okay, we got a beautiful little fill here on the pullback, and then we see the continuation to the downside. This is what we were looking for, right? Now, if that is the case, then it makes sense that it's probably going to come down to here, where these buyers kind of broke out from this little area in here, right? And we have high liquidity here too. So then if that is the case, well, I know sellers are in control in this move. They are now moving the market in the market mechanics. We can see a mild pullback here. It looks like it's pretty big, but it's not compared to this selling. Look at the bars. Look at the size of the dots and the colors. So we scaled into it here. Then we also scaled out some here. So we took some profit, and we're still in it, and we're holding for the bigger move. Now, like I'd mentioned yesterday, looking for a runner. I'm not a big fan of it. And it depends on the environment. I should say that. It depends on the environment. If you are trading, and we talked about this with Steven as we were going over his trades in the academy, that if the environment for the day is, let's suppose some fundamental data came out and it's trending, yeah, hold a runner, absolutely. Look to get in. You can scale in all day long and stuff like that, and you can hold a runner. You can hold runners, not just one. Who cares about just that? I mean, what if Scott Pulcini mentions this all the time? You can make your month on one trade. You'd layer in these, and like you wouldn't take partial profit. You're looking for a big run, and stay in that trade, and you could have losses the rest of the month, small little losses the rest of the month, and still be profitable, right? So anyway, just worth mentioning some of these things. That's what Scott talks about, and I hear a lot of other really big traders talking about stuff like this. I mean, we all know that. I mean, they've talked about it for years, right? Well, here's how you can kind of put it to the test. Okay. Now, we had our reasons for getting out here because of the high liquidity. In fact, we had other areas of high liquidity, and we decided like, I see a lot of momentum here. I'm going to move it below the swing here, and I'm going to front run that high liquidity. Well, in the end, that's lucky. All right, I got filled here. It went maybe one tick more in our direction. Yeah, just one tick more. At least transactions only went one tick more in our direction. Okay, best bid and offer did test down here into that high liquidity. Or I'm sorry, best bid did, but not one transaction took place. Right? So yeah, we nailed it. We totally nailed it there. But there's an element of luck involved in that too. Right? What if we put it down below that high liquidity? Well, now we'd be stopped out at break even up here. That happens all the time. Right? So what do? We record our data here. We go back at the end of the day and we re-record, or we replay this event. We can look at our trades in here. We can retrade it as well. And we get better. We learn. Now, in fact, all week long, we've been doing that. In fact, here it is here. We have let me show you where it is exactly. If you go to our YouTube page and you go to playlists here. Okay, this is the new playlist we just put together here. Trading tips and tricks. This is using replay mode. Okay, I went through it in replay mode. Scott Pulcini and Robert Rother and I. This one was by Robbed in the Bookmap Academy, and how he uses replay mode. It was fantastic, what he learned. Really nice presentation, Rob. Really appreciate it. This all stemmed from Carmine Rosado and how he uses Bookmap in this webinar here in replay mode. Okay, he uses it in live trading, but how does he use it in replay mode to debrief his trading activity? Okay, it's a great tool. Use it. It's free. It's with Bookmap. Take advantage of it, and you become a better trader. Right now, we also have the Bookmap Trading Journal, let's take a look here. We can bring that up. All right. Yeah. So here we go. It shows your profit and losses. Well, by default, every time it opens up for 1 month, but you can go back to whatever. So I have actually data showing from the 21st onward, and this is my profit and loss equity curve here. It shows it over here: total winners, total losers, biggest winner, biggest loser. I'm not happy about some of this data. My profit ratios here. Okay, so 68% of the time I have a winner compared to a loser. I'm really not happy about that either. I'd like to see it be less. I would like to see it be 30% or 40%. And I would like to see this turn into a massive winner to the downside that I scaled into. And then I'd love to see all sorts of little losers that didn't work, but I gave it a shot. Okay, and then I would like to see the profit and loss equity here curve be like, 200,000 instead of 31,000, or almost 32,000 for the last couple of months or so. Let's see. So yeah, end of March, so April, May, and yeah, like 3 months or so. Anyway, and then average winner, average loser, and all the trade data is here. You can click on this now, and this will pop up as well. The trade data from that trade. Okay, so here's our MFE and MAE. How much did it go against us? 6 ticks. How much did it go for us? 33. Not bad, right? I think it must be because I added in that scale. I'm not sure, because I don't think it went against us at all. Let's take a quick look. No, I'll have to check with our developer on that. It didn't go against us 1 tick. Yeah, so and then it went 1 tick more in our favor, and that was it. So we really captured top to bottom here on that move. So and like I said, that was an element of luck involved in here too. But then we can go back and restudy it, retrade it in replay mode. All right, so enough said. You guys get the point. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's see. Shark Blue, you get where are you located, Shark Blue? Just kind of curious, and maybe what you're using Rhythmic data. No, it's not. There's no gaming or rigging. So you might want to try connecting to the server from Rhythmic on the east or on the west coast. Okay, it'll say U.S. West, U.S. East, or Chicago. I'm actually connected to the one in Chicago. I'm not using, and I just kind of left it that way. So there was a problem at one point, and I just left it that way. And I didn't have any issues, so I just kept it. Oh, is it a gaming computer a few years ago? Never mind. Didn't understand. Yeah, same as mine. No, there's something that we'll cover here soon about data, and it's still in the works, but we are offering, as probably a lot of you guys know from some of the beta testers, we have Bookmap data here, and we've been getting some, and this is live with looking at the Nasdaq. See how it says NQM4 CME at Bookmap data. Okay, whereas the NQ over here is at Rhythmic. Okay, so no, and we've gotten some really nice feedback here that it's been pretty solid, pretty rock solid so far, and guys really like it, and they actually prefer it. So anyway, more on that in the future though. Right, so maybe try that, Shark Blue. This is what I'd recommend. Try to be a beta tester, Shark Blue, and test it. Right. All right. See if there's any questions on YouTube. What time frame am I currently displaying? We don't have time frames in Bookmap. Like candles or period data. That's actually a big distinction between us and others. So you're just looking at pure streaming data in here. So for example, we can put here, let me just take off these elements on the chart for a moment. Okay, and if we do have candlesticks, and you can look at your period data in here. This is 5 minutes. Okay, and that's it. So every 5 minutes, you get open, high, low, and close of a period, and that's all you get. Now, it's really opaque data, in my opinion. You don't know where the transactions took place. You might have that on the volume bars, in the subchart, but you don't know where they're taking place, right? So you also don't know all the pure price action in here because it's aggregated within this bar. So here's a 5-minute candlestick chart. Every bar is 5 minutes, right? Well, in Bookmap, we just show the best bid and offer, and the way that we look at the dotted gray lines in here, we know that there's 15 minutes of data between each dotted line here. That's how I match up and know and understand the time frame. So works for me. There's another thing up here. There's this time slice tool. Let's click on that, and we'll go with an hour here of data. So what that's showing in here is 1 hour of data in my viewable range here. Now you can see that between each dotted line, it's actually 15 minutes still. Okay, so it's not a 15-minute chart. It's not wrong. It's just showing you, 15 or 60 minutes altogether. 15 here, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your 60 minutes of data. And it's always constantly sliding window of pure 60 minutes of data. All right, so I hope that answers your question, Greg. We always get that question about what time frame are we looking at. But I always use the vertical dotted lines in here to help me, right? And then I don't need to know more. I will show this. If we look at our 5-minute candlestick chart here, here's 5 minutes. You can see like a little head and shoulders kind of reversal pattern right in here. Here's maybe shoulder, head, shoulder, and then the reversal. You don't see that in the 5-minute chart. You'd have to probably go down to like a 30-second chart. And this is what I mean by market mechanics or market structure on lower time frames. And then what we want to see in here is to start to understand, okay, now we know the price action. If we break this level here, which we did, I'm going to assume that this was on high volume. That's a tradable event up to this swing here, or a measured move from here. Here's your measured move from here to here, and then from here on up to here, right? And that could be your take profit. You can even see this is a small little a continuation pattern, a flag pattern right here in front of us, right? On all these small time frames within this 5-minute period. These are all tradable. You can really look at some of these. We looked at the little pullback here as a tradable event, and then took our profit here, right in front of that, or right around that high liquidity there. So we had reasons for our targets. Anyway, now we have the price structure, and we can see all these details the candlestick chart won't show. And then we're going to add in the volume dots now. And let's just make them smaller. And then here we can see all the details, though. We have the bars and we have the dots. So sellers, nice little string of buyers, some sellers, and then they're upended, and we see buyers back up above here. There's our context with just 2 elements on Bookmap. We have the price structure with the best bid and offer. We also have the volume within that price structure. Classic stuff. Look at the continuation flag pattern in there. Looks just great. Strong volume, very short pullback on very low sell volume, just a few small little red dots, followed by a strong impulse move again to the upside. All right, so now you have this context and understanding, and the candlestick chart completely just doesn't show that. It can't show that. Even your footprint chart won't show that in here, because your footprint chart, you'll see the volume line up on your bar, but it will be aggregated within that bar. You won't see this little kind of tiny pullback and continuation. All right. So anyway, now that's two things, but there's still one element missing, and that is the heat map. Okay, where's the liquidity, right? And we have that context now in Bookmap. Now, if that's a little too much, you can dim it. You can also filter the heat map. Right-click on it and go to heat map settings, and we can raise the cutoffs here, and then maybe this is a view that you prefer, and now we have an understanding of where these sellers, where they're transacting into the buyers, who's taking the other side of the trade, right? And that's a complete view of the market, and we don't see that in candlestick charts, right? So that's your edge. Okay. All right. That was a long-winded answer to the question, but thanks, Greg. And let's continue on. All right. Any of you guys get that? Pick up the this trade here. Don't trade along with me. This is not a trading room whatsoever. This is an order flow reading room. But understanding, we're in sim. Look in the lower right-hand corner, and we are showing though how to put this to use. Okay, and we did it here in real time. Right, not a lot of people are showing that in real time. That's also, I think, a distinction with our education. Okay, so we talk the talk, but we walk the walk as well. I hope you guys find it helpful. Okay. Oh, it's not Yuri. It's Dan, Yuri's friend. Now on his stream, can you show the volume dot settings? Yeah, sure. So yeah, you can also filter the volume dots in here. I'll be honest, like I usually for demo purposes, as well as I like it, I just go with the heat map demo settings in here, and I'm fine with it. Usually just keep it at 50% dimmed, and that's it. Now, if I want more insight to it, then maybe I'll filter it. But this usually does a pretty good job for me. I'm very happy with it. It's also the same for the volume dot settings. So go up to, you can right click on your volume dot, or you can go up here to studies configuration, and then go to your volume dot settings. That'll bring up this, and then I'll restore it here, right? So the only thing that's a little bit bigger in here is the size. I had it a little bit smaller, and then also my smart setting here on the clustering. There's many settings in here. Play around with it. I think Rob was also doing this in replay mode, which was great. He's like, well, in replay mode, I want to look at some other things. Maybe I can glean something more. Maybe it works better for my setup. So you can look at it by time, 1 minute, or anything else in the drop down here. You can look at by volume. So you got a volume chart here. You can look at 50 transactions or 500 transactions. Every 500 transactions, you'll get a volume dot, and it's going to show the delta, buy minus sell. It's up to you. Or you can look at by price, or by price and aggressor. So now the smart setting is by default, and it's really a combination of by time and volume, right? So and you've got a slider here to play around with it. This is basically all I do, and I'll just play with the slider a little bit. If I go all the way to the extreme right, you can see that clusters quite a bit of data, and then just shows very few volume dots in here. So sometimes that can be helpful for traders. I usually like it somewhere maybe a little less than half. That's it. Okay. There's other settings and filtering down here, minimum displayed volume or trade size. If you, Dan, if you're looking for more information on that, go to bookmap.com. Go to education, and then go to getting started here. And then you'll scroll down to volume here. And there's a few, you can see they're very, very short videos. This one will go through your volume dots filtering in here and your volume dots clustering here, these two. So about 4.5 minutes of data or viewing time, and you'll be up and running. Okay. All right. All right, well, let's zoom out. Let's get our bigger picture perspective again here and see what's going on. It's been pretty choppy day. Yeah, we came, we're looking for that after the data here at 10 o'clock and the move down, the move back up above this kind of pivot here that we were fortunate that Uri kind of came in here, and it wasn't him, it was Dan, that we understand that what we're looking for in here is kind of an important area. And we saw that this is not a low volume pullback. Okay, we're looking for who's going to be in control in this move. Sellers are, but then the volume picked up in here on the buy side. And we look for that charge back up into these areas here. It went right above it and back up into these swings. So it went up deeper above these swings, but it didn't go above this one up here. Okay, so sellers still in control. And then we talked about this whole setup here, right? How we're looking for it to bounce off of this and then trade through it. We saw the event, a potential opportunity. We took advantage of it. We even scaled into it here, and then a scale out here, and then full scale out. Close the trade down here. Okay. All right. See if there's any other questions. Greg, for your if you get global subscription, you get 1 hour of backfill data for free. But what the thing to do is that data is going to be parsed a little bit. It's not as quite as accurate as the data that we're collecting when we're running Bookmap. We're actually collecting the market by order data in here. It's metadata that can show the stops and icebergs, and it's basically showing position in queue is what it is. That's what market by order data shows compared to market by price data. Again, guys, this is market mechanics type of stuff. However, it's extremely important. Let me show you what market by price. It won't show you the position in queue. Now, for example, we can show actually position in queue here. Oops. There's a little, see this little blue line in here? That's our position in the queue. There are like, at least 100 contracts in front of this. Let's just cancel this one and this one for now. That little blue line right here. Okay. I've got to wait in line in the position in queue here for all of these contracts to trade before mine is finally reached, and then I transact. Okay. Now, position in queue can show that. That's market by order data. So it's showing the market by orders. Market by price data will show you just all of the orders at that price only. Like you don't get, like with market by order data, you will see that out of these 106 in here, you will see that there's one order for 10. There might be 15 orders after that for just one contract, etc. And you can really see the orders at that price level. Now, because of that position in queue, we can derive all sorts of other information. There's ID tags also provided by market by order data that shows the transactions, or we can put together the transactions of the stops, of the icebergs. Once we have that information mixed with position in queue, we can start to understand not only when they transact, but their whole evolution, are they still in the market? Here, let's just bring it up. And we'll show our icebergs. We'll deselect our stops here. Okay, we're going to show all of them in here, each one. Yeah, these are our transactions. See the it says C:1 here, right? So what happened here is we detected an iceberg here, and only one of those icebergs transacted, and then it was canceled at that point. So it's a funny one, right? Like he was in here for a very short period and he canceled it. We don't know the depth of that iceberg at all. It might have been 1,000 before it, or I'm sorry, after it. But whatever it is, only one transacted and he canceled. Now, some of these other ones in here, we can see the E here, which means executed, fully executed. Let's try to find a bigger one. We'll just go with this one here with 7. Here, we can show the whole evolution again. Where this was detected, it was 4 lot. That first, we see it detected here, and then another lot traded here, and then there's going to be another one or another 2 here, and then it was fully executed, this iceberg, for 7 lots. Okay, and this is just fact. Okay, we know that information. We have that data, and that's again like the market by order data that we're showing in here. Okay, so again, that was another long-winded way of getting around to it and saying, like, you get 1 hour of free backfill data, but you can get up to 48 hours of backfill data. Right now, record it and record all of this high quality data here with the market by order for futures only, CME group futures, and then you can record it in your replay mode for replay mode later. That's how to do it. Okay, so and then you've got all these great files for your back testing. Okay. Let's see, Nick, does CME provide liquidation levels? No, it does not. But it does show the stops. Now the stops might be liquidations as well. It could be. Yeah. Alois, thank you. Yeah, Greg, probably I would go with Alois's advice there, and it's probably best stop by the Discord channel, and you'll get what you need there. Yeah, YouTube is great for these live events and the discussion there, but if you want a lot more detail and a discussion to take it further, you'll get a lot more feedback from the Discord channel. I would recommend just probably the easiest thing to do is just sign up for that Bookmap Academy and start, your documentation of some of your activity from replay mode, and you can even we encourage you to trade from Bookmap and show those trades, and yeah, you've got it's actually worth 2 times the credit. So yeah, I would recommend you do that. Then you can really kick off a nice discussion in there. So yeah, go to bookmap.com, the more button, in Academy there. That'll take you to it. Right. All right, how about this one up here? Let's look at this top edge in here. We're going to get a breakout trade. Not bad, not bad. I'm seeing transactions up here. It's not really enough though, for me to take this here. But let's watch this one here. I'm starting to see these transactions, and we might just get some stops triggered, and see a nice move maybe up into this 54.30 up here. That'd be a nice measured move for sure, right? So we can take a look at this and measure it, and then move it back up, and it should match up with that liquidity pretty nicely. Okay, so maybe we'll get a breakout into a new trading range up here, and this is exactly how new trading ranges are formed. Here we go. Let's see if we get it here. Right now, I love taking these breakout trades, to be honest, but this one I shied away from. I just didn't see enough criteria for it. So then it might break out, come back in the range, and come back to the other side of the range. So yeah, stayed away from it. Now, if I had more volume trading up in here by the buy side, I would look for it. And we made a higher low here, come back up, starting to see some volume. Would love to see the order book skewed as well underneath here. Now we're starting to get it in here. Okay, so let's see if we get some more buyers. Then they should be able to reach up into maybe 27 or 28, maybe higher. Yeah, but anyway, why the Bookmap Academy, Greg? Let me show you I'll show you exactly why over here in Discord. And we just had a meeting last night. It's recorded. It's on. Find it on our YouTube channel. Yeah, here's why. Come to here under our Discord channel, Bookmap Academy. Click on that. Check this out. Here's Caesar. Here's Shark Baloo. Moby. Moby has some great stuff this morning. This is all 4 a.m. All these guys trading the European session. Okay, here's Stan, also European session. And here's why, because look at their setups in here. You'll get coaching and mentoring, some feedback from this. This is a great thing in here. Stan's one of our coaches in the Bookmap Academy. Unfortunately, it won't allow me to go into a bigger image there. Okay, maybe you are in YouTube already. Dan's looking for you. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, it's a great program. It's free, and you can actually get Bookmap for free. Let me just cover that quickly so you understand what you're getting involved in. You get a spreadsheet, and then you just fill out, like, you make content like this, and then you take it over here, click on the little 3 dots here. You can copy your message link here, you paste it into your spreadsheet, and you get credit for it. Now, we're looking for quality. We want to give you feedback. We hope that you will create better quality images and better trades. If you do, you will be invited into the Junior Academy here. When you first apply, you just apply for the Junior Academy. First step is to go into the Junior Academy. And if your content is good enough, then you'll be boosted up into the Bookmap Academy, where you can get Bookmap for free, Global Plus for free. You can also get the MBO bundle for free if you double your content, okay, your quota. Right now, we're actually giving away, like, if you make trades from the Bookmap chart, it will count as twice for your content. just because of the summer months, etc., as I'd mentioned earlier. We want to keep people in the loop, and how can we kind of help you out a little bit. So if you trade from the Bookmap chart, we'll give you twice the credit. You don't need to create half as much content. All right, guys. Let's see. Anything else? Any other questions? There you go, Stevie. Yeah, go check it out. Alois had provided you the answer there. And let's see here. No more questions. Okay. There you go. There's Stevie coming over to the chat room in all markets. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, you did great in the competition, Stevie. Yeah, here, check it out. Check it out. This was really fun, guys. Like, was in together with Tino from Traders Reality, and oh no, maybe oh, here you are, you're second place. Yeah, right here. You did really well. 308,000, right? That's you. In a couple of days. You should go to a prop trading firm and tell them to give you some money for crypto. There you go. Or better yet, yeah, try to just go, or easier yet, go to some of these funded account valuation services. And get some good results, so they'll give you more and more money and liquidity. You're on Top Step. Yeah, okay. Awesome. Good job. Yeah, really high performance there. All right, guys. Well, anyway, let's wrap it up. Thanks for coming, everybody. We didn't take this breakout trade, and for good reason, right? And here again, look at this pivot in here. Here's our breakout. Here's the back and forth. Here's where the sellers came in to trade it back into the range, and it's trying again, though. This is how this kind of activity in here. Look what it's doing. This is how it creates this kind of cup and handle pattern in here. We have high liquidity in here. No more sellers. Buyers starting to trade back up into these ranges in here. And then now we're looking for, and they're pulling here. Okay, so now we're looking for these buyers to try to lift it back up into these areas here, right? But we avoided this trade here because it didn't meet our criteria. It wasn't enough in here. And what did it do? Well, it still might work out, but we wanted it to work out immediately and work out well for us, not get trapped into some kind of a trade that just goes sideways the rest of the day. Okay, so anyway, yeah, this is the kind of trades that we look for or don't look for if we don't have the criteria in our checklist. We keep pushing the checklist on people in the content. Have a checklist for your criteria, your trade criteria. It's critical, all right? Because then you know what you're doing. Now you got to have that checklist. It has to be meaningful. A checklist without any kind of like understanding or back testing, or kind of forward testing in replay mode. If you don't have that, well, then what's the point? That you can have a checklist, but if you don't understand it, you haven't put it together yourself, then it's meaningless. Anyway, we are teaching you that in the academy and through our education, right? So have your criteria for your trade, and we're trading in here to go through trade criteria too, not just your setup criteria, your trade management criteria. Okay, and you can see how you can mingle the two together here. For example, we did it here in this example, this trade example here. Sold we look for a small pullback, sold, and then if this starts to work, well, then it makes sense. Then we're looking for a bigger move out of that, so we're going to scale in, and then we scaled out down here. We had to kind of go back and forth a little bit, and then it continued on and then hit down below the swing here, and that's where our target was, in front of that high liquidity here at this 08 level. Okay, so again, not just your trade criteria, your trade management criteria, and you can put the two together here. You've really got something powerful. All right, best of luck, everybody. Have a great weekend. Let's connect on Monday. We'll see you then. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. Yeah, take care. Bye-bye. Oh yeah. One more thing. Yeah, if you please, hit the like button in there and subscribe to the channel, and come over to our Discord channel for more information. Right. I think that'll be very helpful for you. We hope. All right. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.